Hello, welcome.
Hi everybody.
Welcome to 2023's Christmas video. And he's finally turned up, although it's at his house this time.
So I thought you were going to say finally turned 30.
You have to finally turn 30, yes. But also, you're finally in a Christmas video again after, I think, a couple of years now.
Yeah, why did I miss it last year?
Ineptitude.
No.
Now, normally, we enjoy a nice beverage. Unfortunately, I'm on the coffee because I've got to drive home.
I am.
What you got?
I have a Captain Morgan's and Coke.
Nice. So, as is tradition on these videos, we do talk about, because we're talking about Christmas here, Christmas presents, etc. And we talk about what would be our recommended first RC car for someone who has never been into the RC hobby at all and has no knowledge. So, as a result, we're avoiding things like lithium batteries because they need kind of specialist care, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I wanted to add a sort of slight twist to this because we've got our recommended RC car, first RC car for someone who just wants to go and do it, but also our recommended first Tamiyas, because in my opinion, your first RC car should be a Tamiya kit. I'll get on to why, but first, let's talk about recommended first ready to run RC cars. You want to go first?
If you like, yeah.
Go for it.
I think I was going to pick the RC Senate.
Sentin,
sorry. RC Sentin. It's a brushed, ready to run, kind of like a short course truck, but it's a two-wheel drive. I think it's a 12-turn motor, but it's fairly cheap armour, so it's going to be tough. But also, if it's to get your foot in the door with the RC, see if you enjoy it, see if you want to spend money on it. If you feel it's too slow, it's got plenty of upgrades, so you can upgrade it to brushless and four-wheel drive very easily. So that would be my pick.
Bear, is he going to hit the camera? Oh, no, Bear's good. Bear's the German Shepherd behind the camera.
He's the cameraman.
Was it the boost?
It was a boost, yeah. So it was
boost.
a 4x2 boost.
Right. He's going to kick that camera.
You stay.
So yeah, okay. So Arma, Sentin boost,
yes.
two-wheel drive.
550 more. Yeah, and I think that's a good beginner's.
It's certainly tough enough. You're not going to break it, are you?
It's a sort of top. I would say one of the toughest introduction to bashing that you'll get, and you know, if you fall in love with it, then you've got plenty of upgrades after that.
Yes, you do, because you, like you said, you could convert it to a higher spec Sentin, four-wheel drive, etc. And then eventually, if you wanted to, you could go all the way up to what's the top brushless one called? Like the 3S Sentin? You could turn it to 3S Sentin.
Something like that. But you know,
BLX or whatever it's called. Yeah. Nice. All right.
What would yours be?
And then I think the retail price for that was slightly under 200, isn't it?
Yeah, like 180. Okay. I think 180 on Model Sport.
Well, I was looking for my recommended. First of all, I wanted to look up Corrali again because the Corrali two-wheel drive brushed lineup was tough as old boots. They were amazing. I had the Triton and you could not break it. But they seem to be discontinued. So, my choice would either be... Well, really my number one choice would be the Maverick Quantum four-wheel drive, which comes in a truggy version called the... Oh, thanks, Bert. Called the XT, or a monster truck version called the MT. I prefer truggies to monster trucks because they're more planted, they're lower, they handle better. But the MT's kind of very loosely a monster truck. It's quite low anyway. It looks like a jacked up truggy, like a monster truggy. So yeah, that's really been my choice, would be the MT because it looks really cool. I think it's about £160 retail. Four-wheel drive, ready to run. It's even got the double A's with it. You know, you need nothing. And it's under the HPI banner. The quality is good. I was thinking the HPI jump shot because it's finally good. It's 10 or less, but it is rear-wheel drive only, whereas the Quantum is four-wheel drive. And the jump shot doesn't have a front bumper, so if you crash it, the whole front body bolt folds in. So I'm going to have to go for the Quantum.
Rear-wheel drive's nice, but if you want a wee bit more stability, especially for something leaning towards a more monster truck-esque, four-wheel drive's a bit more controllable. I mean,
the jump shot's fine, but the jump shot's got the twin vertical plate chassis, which is metal. So if you do have a massive crash, you'll bend it and it'll stay bent, whereas the plastic chassis spring back. Yeah. So I think the Quantum's the better choice, as much as I do like the jump shot.
Yeah, so I think if you're going for a basher, you kind of want a flexible plastic just to absorb something.
Especially if you're new. Yeah. And like what you were saying with the Arma, there is a hotter version of the Quantum. You get the Quantum Flux, and it's got all the power you could ever need. So that truck is also upgradable. It's not like some cars where they're cheap, but if you fit a lot of power, it just strips out the drivetrain.
Yeah.
This wouldn't happen.
Whereas you actually had that with your jump shop when you bought it originally.
Yeah, jump shot was terrible. The Mark 1 jump shot was awful. But the Mark 2, it's not even the Mark 2 anymore, it's the version 2.5 or something now. Right, so moving on. First Tamiya. Now the reason I think your first RC car should be a Tamiya is, bear in mind you're talking about someone who has no understanding or knowledge of RC cars, right? Building a kit gives you all that knowledge, essentially. You understand how it works by putting it together, and the gears turn in your head, and that something will click, and you'll be like, oh, that's how that works, etc. Now there are other companies that make kits, obviously, and there are kits that are better than Tamiya, arguably. People talk about the Tamiya instruction manuals being the best, but I don't think that's necessarily the case anymore. Certainly HPI instruction manuals are immense. Those Jime Komodo instruction manuals are immense. But when you're building a Tamiya, they're always unusual and they're always interesting. You build a kit for a Team Associated or something, it all makes logical sense. With the Tamiya, you go, hang on, what am I building here? And then you come up with something that's always different. Tamiyas are a little bit more left field with a lot of their designs. They're a bit funky, and they are really enjoyable to build. And if you ask any Tamiya fan, the building of it is as fun, maybe more fun than the running of it. So personally, I think Tamiya should be your first kit. There are better performing choices, but I don't think there are better choices. And with the possible exception of the Axial SCX10, no other kits on the market have as many upgrades and hop-ups available to you as a Tamiya. You want to customize your RC car, which is one of the best things about the hobby, is the customization. You got no better option than the Tamiya, really.
Yeah, they're good. They're a good solid platform to introduce yourself to. Yeah.
They are. And Tamiyas, although the people, there's a common misconception, they don't use Phillips heads. They use JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard heads. But you can use a Phillips screwdriver if you're careful. Most people don't have specialist Allen keys when they're starting out to build hex hardware. Tamiyas come with crosshead hardware. You could dig out an old screwdriver from the shed and you'll be able to build a Tamiya with it. So, if you start from the bottom, there you are.
Plenty of grease.
Plenty of grease in a Tamiya, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, that's why I go for Tamiya. They've got a nostalgic effect for me because my first hobby grade RC was a Tamiya. Yours wasn't. Yours was the TC3, the Team Associated.
But I kind of bought that ready to run though. So
because I built it,
yeah.
or maybe my dad or whatever. But you had myself and my dad to help you out.
Yes.
So you weren't starting from zero.
Oh yeah, no, it makes a big difference because if you are going to introduce yourself to RCing, then I suppose touring cars at that time would have been quite a hard thing to get into because unless you are racing them out in car parks or whatnot, but the roads aren't that great, and either you're going to be in a club, and that could be quite nerve-wracking just to throw yourself into it.
Bear, what's your paw? Yeah, I mean, the thing is with starter Tamiyas, they only do about 15, maybe 20 miles an hour. So even on a normal housing estate, you're not pushing stupid speeds. So they bounce around a fair amount, and the bad roads don't matter quite so much when they've got those pogo sticks and things.
Yes.
It's just,
and all, parts are cheap as well, so
yeah.
It's always, if you do end up breaking it,
parts are cheap. Parts are readily available, and Tamiya plastics are good. So they're generally quite thick plastics, and they look a bit sort of almost toy grade in some lights compared to you sat a really high-end touring car next to a TT01 or something. Mm-hmm. But the TT01 is just, it's fun at every speed. And that's what Tamiyas do. So anyway, as a result, my recommended first Tamiya would be a touring car. It would be the TT02 because, the TT02 is their current platform. It has 1.5 million upgrades available for it. Has all the nice body shells. You can change your wheels and tires. Yes, the spec isn't great for the base models. You need to get bearings eventually or oil-filled shocks eventually. But with my TL01, I had no concept of these back in the day when I was a little boy. I didn't know it only had plastic bushings. I didn't know it only had springs with no real shock absorbers. Did I care? No. It looked good. It was fast because, what was I used to back in the day as a young boy? And some of my favourite memories in RC was just driving that TL01 around the street. So TT02 I would go for as my recommended, yeah.
Yeah, nice. I think for my recommended Tamiya, since I've already got one, I would recommend the Lunchbox because it's just endless fun.
It is.
It's an easy build. The instructions are clear. and it's just it's not something you take seriously. You know,
No.
you can upgrade it, you can throw stupid power in it, but it's not really worth it because at the end of the day, it barely goes in a straight line. But you know, you get your front wheels up, you can play around with friends, and it's just sheer enjoyment and a laugh.
Yes,
using it, so.
when you can upgrade the lunchbox and fit oil-filled shocks and everything, but they don't do anything when the front wheels are in the air.
No.
Your lunchbox is mechanically standard.
Yep.
My lunchbox has got full bearing, chassis brace, 5th shock mod, all shocks all round, and they're identical.
Yeah, there's no difference.
There's no difference.
So it's and they're fairly affordable as well. So it's not like you're gonna break the bank buying them,
Yeah.
but it's ready. It's not ready to run, but everything's there what you need
Well,
apart from battery.
and radio gear, and possibly speed controller.
Yeah.
No, you got to get all the stuff.
I suppose. Well, I didn't actually buy it. I got it as a Christmas gift.
There you go.
Stuff, so,
Cheating.
yeah.
No, you got with a Tamiya kit. You've got to get a lot of stuff. Sometimes they come with free motors. Sometimes you even get like a torque tuned motor, whatever as an upgrade. But you will spend more money overall than buying a base RTR like that Arma you mentioned.
Yeah.
The Maverick I mentioned is cheaper than putting together a Tamiya kit. But the Tamiya kit, you get the enjoyment of the build, and it is a good time, especially if it's a Christmas period. You got the music going, you got a little bit of a beverage there or whatever. You build it with your son, for example, if you're a dad, or you build it yourself. There's something really nice about settling down to build it, especially in the evening or something.
Yeah. We had a good time building our 6x6s. We had a fair drink on our first go.
I don't know about that.
That is there. That is there.
Keep it to yourself.
That is somewhere.
Might have a bit of seepage. But they're worth it. They're worth it because part of the enjoyment is building it. You get to build it yourself and make sure you've done it right, and
And the lunchbox is the epitome of fun at any speed.
Yes.
Because the lunchbox could be at walking pace and it's still a riot.
Yeah.
I bought an Arma Vortex BLX last year or something, 65 miles an hour. Super impressive piece of kit, incredible piece of kit. Didn't really enjoy it. I sold it. I've had my lunchbox for years and I'll never sell it. One's just more fun than the other.
I know. Sometimes you can look at a speed of something ready to run and you think, oh, that's incredible. It does 65 miles an hour out of the box, but it can be unruly. You might not enjoy it because you're afraid to use it to its full potential, or you don't have the space to use it.
You don't have the space. I mean, I took it to a place that was an open gravel quarry and stuff, but or an open park, wherever you make sure there's no kids around, there's no dogs around. You don't want to hit something or someone. And then it's super impressive seeing something fling around at that sort of speed. But then after 10 minutes, the speed's all it's got. I mean, obviously there's those people who like hardcore Armas for like the skate park bashing ability, but that's not really me. So
no, I couldn't do that to an RC. Like trying to break it, no thanks.
Well, if you're good at jumping, but I'm not very good at jumping. So anyway, nice. So moving on, despite how long we've taken, the main topic of this video was harking back to our very first Christmas video that we did together in 2016, where we talked about if we had a 3-car RC garage, what would our dream 3 cars be? And everybody in the comments said, only 3, I couldn't do it. I get that, and I'm with you, but if we won't, because we've both got way more than 3 already each. But if we had to have 3 RCs only, and that's not including any nostalgia we have or love we have for anything we currently own. So for example, my favourite RC car is my Team Lossy Triple XS, but only because the memories associated with that. If I was looking at it objectively, that's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not a dream RC car of mine. But I can tell you what we had last time. You had Team Lossy 5.
Yep.
5T, obviously. Funnily enough, you said you'd rip out the petrol engine and make it brushless, which I think is just weird.
Yeah, I kind of changed my mind on that because after you done the running with the brushless, the brush.
Well,
Alan gave you a shot.
That was a nitro and a brushed.
So it was a brushed and a nitro, and I actually really enjoyed the nitro for just the sheer the sound of it, the smell of it, and
smoke.
It's just there's something different. So
bear, you're gonna hit. Oh.
So yeah, I think I don't think I would put brushless anymore. I think I would keep
an engine, keep a
engine.
real living, breathing engine. So that was your choice, your first one. Your second choice was the Lossy LST XSL 2 or something it's called. LSD XSL2, which was a 1/8 monster truck, could be brushless or nitro or petrol. But they're not made anymore.
Yeah.
So they're probably off the table. And your last one was, and this is definitely not made anymore, the Vetera Ascender. Because that was your first love when it came to crawlers and scalers.
Yeah.
My choices were the Lossy 8. I don't think that's made anymore. The Lossy 8 T4 or 3 or something. It's been out since, but it's a racing truggy. My second choice.
You had the Mini AT.
I had the Mini AT, yeah. This was the full size AT.
Piece of kit.
That was beautiful, yeah. Although mine was the Exotech full carbon conversion. The second one was the Proline Pro MT, because I love 1/10 scale monster trucks, and that was the best one on the market at the time. Also not made anymore.
But you had.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That
it was
truck,
good.
awesome.
It was good.
And the last one was the RC 4-wheel drive Galanda 2, which is also not made anymore. But that came with the caveat was I would only pick that if I didn't get a G-made Komodo, and if I got a Komodo, I'd want the Galanda 2 because I like them both evenly.
You've had a really successful run with your G-made Komodo GSO2, haven't
It
you?
was the GSO1 back I was talking about though, but
I
yes.
know, but you.
Hey, we'll get to that. So, those were the. Have you changed your mind since?
On 2, I would have a Lossy 5
So would I.
with an engine.
Oh yeah.
I would have so that's without question. I would have a Lossy 5.
So is that one of your dream threes?
One of my dream 3. I would
Okay.
love to have one of them. I'm struggling for a third, but the second one I think I would have would be the Team Associated Rival. I think that's an awesome,
Yeah,
monster truck.
that's a good choice actually. Yeah.
I would, and then the last one, I'm humming and hawing over so many different variants. Like you've got buggies, you've got touring cars and crawlers, but I can't make a decision on the third one.
Do you want to come back to it?
I'll come back to it, yeah,
Okay.
because I was hunting and looking and thinking of all the different aspects, and I just can't decide what platform I would want my last one to be.
Fair enough. I think once I say my second one, you'll probably twig.
Right.
Just to go over yours a little bit though. The Lossy 5 is a 5th scale petrol powered or gasoline powered beast.
Yeah, I was
Huge
on
RC car. The what was the second one?
The Team Associated
Oh, the
Rival.
Rival, yeah, MT10, 4-wheel drive, it's like a big 1/10, small 1/8. I think it's a big 1/10. It is a big 1/10.
Yeah, it's
MT10.
quite impressive looking for a 1/10.
Yeah, it's a 1/10, 4-wheel drive, tough as nails.
Yeah.
Basically along the same lines as the Arma BLX range.
One of the ultimate bashers.
Yeah, very highly rated. For me, I mean, I would love a 5. And if I had the area to use a 5 available to me, it would be a 5. But I don't see that being the case because you'd have to have too many. So you'd have to have so many things lined up in order for that to qualify.
Yeah.
I think I would go for an Arma Mojave 4S BLX, which is the new Arma Mojave.
Mm-hmm.
Now the 6S Mojave, in case you don't know, the Mojave is a large short course truck. You got Senton and then you got the Mojave, which is the big brother of the Senton.
I like a short course.
Oi, stop hitting the camera. The 4S Mojave came out very recently, like this month. The 6S has been out for years, but the 4S obviously runs on 4-cell battery rather than 6-cell. It's almost as big. It's a huge truck. It's probably that. It's almost as big as the 6S, but it's got plastic chassis for bashing rather than the metal chassis. The 6S one tends to bend if you bash it hard.
Yeah.
The 4S one it's more design-wise closer to the 3S for skate parking or whatever, but it's bigger. It's really impressive. Because it's as big as the 6S or near enough, it's really planted. It tends to avoid traction rolling as much as the smaller brother does. It's just an awesome piece of kit, and it sort of bridges the gap between the 5 with the presence and the speed and the size with a smaller one that you could just send airborne.
Yeah.
It's a sort of halfway house between those, and I think it's a great. I would actually love to get one. So that would be my first choice. My second choice, which might set you off for your one, is I've got to have a rock crawler trail truck. I've got to have a trail truck. Got to.
Oh, like
Well, I love my G-Made Komodo GSO2,
Yeah.
right? But G-Made have still not released hardened steel gears for the crown gears in the diff in the axle. And that's a real problem because
Gears.
it's not just me that I've gone through them. I've had lots of people come back to me and say, like, we've had an issue. That's just not good enough. If they had it, I'd be 100% happy with my Komodo GSO2
You
F.
get yourself a stealth gearbox.
The gearbox has got hardened steel gears in it. It's only the axles. Anyway, I would be 100% happy with my G-Mate, but because of that, I'm not.
Yeah. And a 2-speed.
That 2-speed I don't give a crap about. But then the 2-speed made it worse. That was the issue.
It was just a gimmick.
I mean, you can have it, but if it starts making more damage to the crown gears,
there's so much more sort of torque going through it, and
whatever. So, I think if you had to ask me what the best, I don't know what the best one on the market is, but if I had to pull a number out of thin air, it'd be just the SX10-3. So the Axial SX10-3, I think it's the Gladiator or something, which is the Jeep pickup, which is beautiful. They're actually longer. They're longer than the 313mm standard. So they're a wee bit long. They're a wee bit longer. They're just a little bit bigger. They look stunning. They've got every feature. You know, they've got the portals, which I'm not too bothered about, but they have them. They've got the dig function, which is awesome. You've got your 2-speed. You know, it won't really perform any better than my GSO2F when it comes to rock crawling, but you have the assurance of I have hardened steel gears available to me throughout, which is something you don't need to worry about. So that's my second choice.
Yeah, I think if you had to have something, I think it would only make sense for me to have something along that line so that we could actually use them on a trail.
Yeah.
I think I'm happy with my enduro in terms of rock crawling because I've got loads of headroom for upgrading. But I think for a designated trail truck, that would be awesome. Something that you can wade through mud and just help each other out, winch each other.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome.
So what, another SDX10 or something?
Something like that, or something close to it. Maybe not the exact same truck, but as long as the capabilities were similar.
Yeah, I think they're all similar. I think the G-Mate's similar, the Traxxas TX4 similar, the Axial's similar.
The only thing that really makes
similar.
a difference is who you do your shell and the equipment you put on it. Yeah,
they're all infinitely customizable. Yeah. But I wouldn't pay for an SX10-3. They're completely overpriced. I mean, they're well over £600. But you're talking about a dream RC garage.
Yeah.
So, my third choice is a racing car. I don't care which one. I don't care. Since we did this discussion last time, which was, like I said, 2016, I'd been out of the racing scene for many years. You'd never done it.
Yep.
Matthew just did his first ever racing last night, actually. I'd forgotten, I've gone back into, I'm now doing GT12 and I've done it for almost 2 years now. I've forgotten how much I enjoyed it. And I can't see myself not racing. Yeah. I absolutely love it.
The rush is good. The stress is
You'll settle. You will settle. You will settle. I was nervous and as stiff as a board and all anxious when I first did it, but you will relax. Honestly, you will.
Yeah, and it's the keep making sure you've got your routine right about adding additive at the right period.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, so that's GT12, but it doesn't need to be GT12. Yeah. If the club near me moved away, or if I moved house and I wasn't near that club, at the moment GT, it could be touring cars, it could be TTO2 truck racing, it could be off-road buggies. I don't know. I don't care. As long as there was a club near me that I could do regular racing, that's all that matters. So whatever's nearest me, I'd get a race car for that club. And that's it. I need a race car. Yeah, so at the moment, I'm happy with my Schumacher Atom 2 GT12.
Yeah, it's quite an awesome hobby actually.
It's great.
Mike introduced me to it. Well, he gave me a car for my birthday, and went to my first race meeting last night, and I didn't go as well as hoped, but at the same time, it was still enjoyable. I loved it. But it's something you can tinker with and you can maintain and be meticulous with your setup and stuff like that. So it's quite enjoyable.
And you learn with the setup as you go on. You get better at it. You get better at not just driving, but you get better at understanding what you need to do to change things.
Yeah.
And then moving yourself up in the ranks is really satisfying too. It's really satisfying.
Yeah. Again, kids telling you, please don't crash into me this time.
You had a kid telling them, please don't crash into me. But that kid was like, ka-dunk, 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 ka-dunk.
Yeah, it was like a pinball machine.
So that's us. You did. So you're going for trail truck number 3 then, I suppose.
I would, yeah. If that was going to be one of your dream cars, then I probably would match it because we do tend to only RC together. well, in my aspect, so I would match that and we could go together.
I ask you that you all the time.
Yeah, all the time, yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I'm too busy.
Oh, I'm too busy, I've got a 5-month-old baby, I can't go do this.
What was your
and that.
excuse 6 months ago?
Jackie was pregnant and almost giving
Oh,
birth,
that's
so I had
true,
to think
true,
of it.
yeah, true. Okay, fair enough. Right, well, the only thing to say now is have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, have a
Thank
Merry
you for
Christmas and a good New Year.
Yeah, and we'll see you as soon as we see you. Actually, you have now been. Well, the video was about your car, so it sort of involved you.
Yes.
Then you did a little video of Arthur getting towed around by your truck.
Yes.
Now you got this one, and the next video out might be about your first day racing. So that would be 4 videos to do with you in a row, which is definitely a record.
Because I'm part of the channel.
You've never been part of the channel.
He's no better at all, isn't he?
Anyway,
Maybe I'll be more a bigger part of the channel if you moved a bit closer.
try to move further away. Right, thanks very much. See you
Right,
later.
thank you. Cheers.
Bye.